Alright. Turn the volume up. Turn the volume
Turn
up.
it up. Turn it up.
Turn the personality on.
Turn it up. Is it on yet? She's booting. She's buffering.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey.
How was your day?
You know, could have been better. But they all could, really. The days.
Yeah.
Why
Why are you wearing that?
are you wearing that?
Your outfit's hideous.
Your outfit's bonkers. I've never seen anything like that before.
What is that?
I would literally
What
never
is this,
put
like,
something that on my
one-piece
body.
denim?
I don't know.
Can't you just wear pants? Like, ever heard of pants?
Why don't you try wearing pants?
Like, what
You
is this?
considered that
Why
before?
is your pants connected to your shirt?
Well, you see, I like to make it difficult to pee. And poop.
Why they're buttons and shit. You got anything in those pockets?
My tools.
What kind?
Hammer.
What do you do?
Wrench.
What do you do for work?
A tornado wrangler. But I do science too, so I have to have my tools on me so that I can operate on my things.
You ever shot fireworks up a tornado?
Yeah, last week actually.
What happened?
They exploded up there. It's pretty cool.
Are you famous?
Yeah, on YouTube. I put
What's your name?
my face is on the shirts and everything. Tyler.
Oh. Thought your name was Aaron.
No, that's a different person. Fuck Aaron.
Fuck Aaron.
Fuck Aaron.
Fuck. Well, we come to this place.
Oh, sorry. Ignore that.
Hello? Is somebody at the door?
Sorry, ignore that real quick.
We come to this place to share stories and to feel, to love, to be touched. And we come to this place, to the theater, if you will, in proper terms, the theater. Random dancing!
We should get in the basement.
Fuck, we don't have one.
Fuck. We should get in the bathtub.
Okay.
That's the best place to go if you don't have a basement. We should go, like now.
Okay.
Like, we should go. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding, guys. We live in LA.
So the play's over.
Can you imagine though what that would be like?
That would suck.
It's actually crazy because the tornado sirens in Columbus were on Ohio State's campus, and they went off the test sirens every single Wednesday at noon.
I hate that.
So every single Wednesday at noon, I'd be like, fuck, Aaron.
We'd have, I mean, the only siren things that I've experienced is just like the school fire bell.
You guys don't have sirens for anything else?
No, we don't have
Don't
sirens.
you have other, like...
We don't have anything. I've never had sirens experience.
Huh.
Because for haboobs, it's just the storm.
How do you know a haboob is
You
coming?
see it.
Oh.
I mean, I guess if it's dark, you don't know. But like, it's thunderstorming. So
Oh,
like,
okay. A
not
haboob is
really.
like dust, right?
Yeah, it's just dust.
Okay.
There's just, well, we'll get like an alert on a phone, but there's no
Do you need to like go
alarms.
inside, or can you like be outside? during one
Well,
of
they
those?
say stay inside.
But like, can you die in a haboob? I guess if you, get, like,
If you
struck
crash
by
your
lightning.
car,
Okay.
but
it gets
not
that dark.
but not like anything else. It
Okay.
gets pretty dark because you can't see the roads.
So do most people, if a haboob, you're driving through one, you stop?
You stop, yeah.
Okay.
You just wait till it's done.
Is it
And
fast?
it usually lasts for like, I feel like not that long.
Not that
20
long.
minutes.
Like, oh.
It's like wind passing
I'm like,
through.
not that long, like a couple hours?
So
or
it's
not
like,
that long?
it's just like wind passing through.
Huh.
It's like dust,
Fascinating.
sand.
What about fires? It's hot there. Or is there just nothing to
Fires.
burn?
We have wildfires, but they're not really near where I live. They're
Okay.
more north where there's trees. Because, like, we don't have fires
I was
because
gonna say there's like not very much landscape.
there's not any plants or anything.
Okay.
So it's just hot. So
So
there's nothing to
no
catch
sirens.
fire. No.
So would you say like in Arizona the like most probable cause of natural disaster death would be like heat stroke?
Yeah. Like, don't be outside for too long. Don't go hiking in the heat. Don't go hiking in 110 degrees. Don't do that. And if you do, you better be hydrated. You better
Okay.
have like your cold water spray. You better be wearing an ice vest, because there's people at Dutch Bros and they have to work outside in the summer. They wear ice vests, and they have hats. They have tents. They have like all this sun protection.
Okay.
But
Okay.
even that is a bit painful.
Got
You
it.
get a heat stroke.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's probably
But
that.
I would say like mostly older people have to deal with that. Like
Okay.
younger folk are
Are
not
fine.
too concerned
Yeah.
about like the heat.
Okay.
But like if you're older, yeah,
you should be
you
concerned.
should be very careful.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
have you ever been in a tornado?
Well, yes, but like not directly over me.
Dorothy.
Right. Oh, I like that name. It's a cute name.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in tornado situations. I have been in like one tornado, but like it didn't pass over my head. It passed over like the other side of the neighborhood.
So
I wasn't like inside the tornado part, but I was like where the tornado was.
oh, we have dust devils. We don't have
You can play
tornadoes.
in those though, right?
You can go
Like
inside
those are
them.
fun, right?
Yeah. Well, if they're small. So like,
What happens if
there's
they're
this
big?
one kid. His name was like Alec or
Uh-huh.
something, and we were in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
And this kid was kind of a freak.
Okay.
Like he was a class clown.
Okay.
And we were at recess. And we were out in the dirt field and everything, and like everybody was like, what is that? What is that? And it was like a little dust devil. It was probably like 6 foot tall, very mini, like there was just dust flowing in the air, and it was just like creating just dust.
So weird.
There wasn't like
Creates,
debris.
tiny vortex,
And it wasn't
like that.
dangerous.
Like, how does that happen?
I don't know. It was like a miniature tornado. But Alec was like, I'm gonna go inside it! And he like runs towards the dust devil. He's like inside it, he's dancing, he's like going like this with his shirt, and it's like floating up, and everybody's laughing so hard.
I'm dead.
It was so funny. But yeah, the kid fully went inside and like
Okay.
started dancing and
I
like,
want to do that.
tossing his shirt up.
That sounds super fun.
It's like the machines that they had for Twister at
Oh,
the theater. And
right.
It was just pretty much that tall.
Got it.
Like a mini.
Okay.
A person could just
And it's
stand
windy.
inside it. And it's windy.
It's windy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if he closed his eyes when he was in that. When he
Right,
came back
because
out,
they're,
like
like,
he seemed fine. Like
Dust?
I don't think you could breathe when you're in those.
Okay, Alec. What? The fuck?
I don't know, but he was so crazy for that. I did see a bigger one before though.
Okay.
Like I did see one that was maybe about 20 feet tall and like thick.
Okay.
Like I saw a thick dark one before.
Okay,
in
but
New
it's not
Mexico.
like coming from the sky.
No.
It's more
Yeah.
ground level, and it's just dust. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
like
just dust.
cloud.
But it definitely looks scary. Like the one that I saw in New Mexico like looked dangerous. Like
Okay.
if you went inside, you'd get your shit cut.
Oh yeah, like if there was a shard
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
Got it.
that one was bigger and heavier.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
But yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
no, I don't
Yeah.
do tornadoes.
Yeah, I would say, well, really there's not that many. I think I was telling Kylie this yesterday at the theater. Was that yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday. I grew up in the Ohio Valley, and tornadoes do better where it's like flat for like a long while, which is why they do so well in Tornado Alley too. Like it's like flat, there's like no obstructions. If there's a valley, like if there's two hills, like the tornado usually like hops over the valley. Anyways, I like lived in the valley, so like not that many, although there was one in the 70s in a town like 30 minutes from me that like flattened the city. And like when you drive through Xenia today, like my grandpa could tell you exactly where it like went through the town, because like the trees are also not as old.
So,
They were
question.
flattened.
So tornadoes, when they happen,
Mm-hmm.
you can be near them, right?
But not
It's
in
fine
it.
to be near them, but the dangerous thing is if it's on you.
Well, yes. Okay, so tornadoes, for instance, like the ones that I've been in, or the ones that have like been around me, the one that I'm specifically thinking of like being really close to was the one that happened in Connecticut in COVID, because that one like tore through like the neighborhoods around me and like my neighborhood a little bit. Like the trees were like taken down. All the trees on my dad's campus, the pine forest,
Mm-hmm.
cooked, because pine trees are also really frail. So when the tornado like touched down over there, it got completely messed up. Anyways, they've cut down all those trees, all the remaining trees now. Like of the 300 trees, I think there were like 60 left after the tornado hit. And so now they're building dorms there, which is really sad. But that tornado, basically what it is like, it's like how the experience is it's like a thunderstorm. It's like a thunderstorm, everything's a thunderstorm, everything's normal, just thunder lightning. But then if there's rotation, there's usually like a funnel cloud. And there were always like funnel clouds, I feel like were pretty
Isn't it
common.
just like temperatures mixing?
Yeah, it's something about something going up and something going down.
Yeah.
Does that. The reason why it happens in Tornado Alley is because there's warm water coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, or warm air flows up from the Gulf of Mexico, and cool air from the Rocky Mountains comes down, which creates a bunch of thunderstorms.
Mm-hmm.
And then the thunderstorms, depending on how all that stuff happens, a tornado happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the science gets
cumulus clouds.
Sure. No. I don't think so. But sure. Yeah. So
Actually,
I don't think so.
That's what you sound like every day.
I just don't think that's right.
actually, I remember. Actually, E equals MC squared. Actually, that's not the capital.
Actually, E equals MC squared, not C.
I said E.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so the one that I was
I
in
listen to Mariah
Connecticut.
Carey, I would know.
Oh. The one that happened in Connecticut, thunderstorm, and normally I am the type that in a thunderstorm where they're like tornado warning, because that happens all the time in Ohio, where there's like tornado warning.
It's Ohio.
You
said Ohio.
Did I say Ohio?
Yeah. You said it really fast that it sounded like Ohio.
Ohio. There were always like tornado warnings, but it could just be rotation somewhere else. Me too. It could just be rotation somewhere else. She should have sampled a tornado siren in that song.
Gene. Instead of
Missed
genius, I'm
opportunity.
just gonna say Gene.
Missed opportunity.
That's my middle name, by the way.
So anyways, I normally would like kind of ignore them a little bit because I like to go outside. I like to be outside in the storms. So yeah, but in Connecticut, the time that it happened, it was me, Gary, and Derek. We were all at home, and I was like, oh my god, this storm is crazy. Like, it is so windy outside. Like, this is a crazy storm. And then I was like, there wouldn't be a tornado, right? Because like that doesn't really happen in Connecticut. And I was like, there wouldn't be. And then we were all like in the living room, and you've been in my living room before. It's that big window. And me, Gary, and Derek were all looking outside, and then we were like, we really can't see outside. Like, the rain is coming down so hard, and the wind is so aggressive that like I wasn't really seeing the outside. And I was having a great time for a second, and then I was kind of like, this seems a little off, like not quite right. And I was like, maybe we should, I don't know, we all got the alert, like the and then I was like, maybe we should go down to the basement. Like, maybe we actually should in this case. And I would say like 9 times out of 10, I'm the last person to say let's go to the basement because I'm trying to look out the windows. This time I was like, we should maybe go down there. We go downstairs to the basement, we're hanging out in the basement for a little bit, and then like the wind seems to die down upstairs, and the storm kind of seems to pass probably like an hour after that. And I was like, we should go on a drive. Like, let's go see like what happened out there. Because I was like, I feel like it was like damaging level winds. We went out and we drove through town, and what would normally be like a 15-minute drive home took us an hour because there were trees down everywhere, and we had to just keep being rerouted. Like, we had to keep going around different streets. So there was like a massive, huge tree that like outside of our neighborhood, right outside of our neighborhood, that had hit a house. And then there was like one intersection that we always cross when I'm going to pick up Derek, that like where the tornado definitely touched down, and those houses were a little bit fucked up. But it wasn't like Twister's level flattening. It was like a small tornado, and it bounced.
Like, buildings weren't coming down.
They weren't being flattened.
No.
They were damaged for sure. Like roof being fucked up, or like tree falling into a house. Like,
Chipped.
but yeah, well, bigger than chipped, but like not flattened. Like it's not like flattened. So that was like probably the closest one I've ever had. And then there was the big one in Dayton, maybe like 5 years ago. And that one, like when you're driving on the highway, you can still see the dead trees. Like, you can see where the tornado went through, because there
Were
are
those E5s?
no,
Oh.
I don't even.
And E5 is rare, right?
An E5 is like, well, it's measured based on, I think it's measured based on damages. And like the E5 ones are the ones that like doesn't even look like a tornado anymore. Like E5, when you see like a
It's like a
video
hurricane.
of an E5, no, it's just like a wall of black.
Oh.
Because an E5 can be like a mile wide.
Yeah.
You can't see any type of spinning when it's a mile wide.
No.
And
yeah, I
those
was
are the
gonna
ones
talk
that
about
just,
like the mild, wide, long tornadoes because I think we were watching a storm chaser show like a few months ago or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking about the tornadoes that were a
mile
wide.
wide.
Bitch, what the fuck?
Oh.
You're not telling me it like traveled a mile. You're telling me it's literally as a mile wide. What's in there?
Think of, that's here to
No.
wide.
Why is it that big?
That's huge. Huge. Also, the worst tornadoes are the ones that don't bounce. The ones that just stay grounded. Because that's another thing with tornadoes is a lot of them bounce. Like they'll touch down and then they'll like
minimal
get
damage.
sucked back up and then they'll come back down again and it like bounces around. The one that happened
Why
in
does it do
Connecticut was
that?
like that. Because like you can tell where it hit in
Why does it do
our
that?
town. Like you
I
can
don't
tell it
like
hit
that.
that intersection. You can tell it hit the pine
I don't
forest.
like that.
And so it like gets sucked up and then comes back down, sucked up, comes back down. When they are grounded and they stay grounded and they just bulldoze, that's when it's real
Would you say
bad.
they mostly happen at night?
Storm? Yeah, I would say. Well, the worst tornadoes happen at. I guess people die when it happens at night because you can't see it coming.
And this other video, this lady, where we talked about this video before, where like she was in the house with a kid and her husband was like also in the house and she looked outside the window and she was carrying her kid and she was like, "There's a tornado!" And it was pitch black dark outside and her husband looked outside and was like, "I don't see a thing, you need to relax." But in the video it's so faint, it's so hard to see.
And there's like
but
a
it's
flash
the
of lightning.
biggest tornado.
It's when the
coming
lightning
near
flashes.
her, coming quick at her house, and she's like, "We gotta go, we gotta go." And her husband's like, "There is not even a tornado out there." Bitch, it was huge.
The scariest videos I always see are always the ones where it's like someone's like kind of like showing something and I'm like, where? And then there's a flash of lightning and you see half of it lit up by the lightning and half of it dark. And you're like,
they're huge.
Storms often happen at night.
I
Like
don't like
thunderstorms in
tornadoes.
general happen, I feel like normally at like 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Because it's like when the heat of the day is over
Yeah.
and then it starts to get all crackly
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
Electricity, like your hair is raising on your
Yeah.
arms and stuff. And then there's a thunderstorm, and a lot of times it's just a nice thunderstorm. It's a good time. A lot of times the thunderstorm gets bigger, and those ones are crazy.
That's crazy, dude. No, I don't like that.
I
That's
would
why I
love to
like
see a
Arizona
tornado.
because nothing happens and it's just hot.
Yeah.
And we get hoops. And the thunderstorms are fun. Like the thunderstorms are a blast. It's
That's
just-
kind of cool.
Yeah.
I
And they're
like-
never too loud or crazy. Like it's never, because I feel like some thunderstorms in like the East Coast, you'll be sitting in your house. It's so
You can
loud.
hear like everything go like.
No, yeah, it's so loud where the power goes out. Like the power rarely ever goes
Really?
out. Yeah.
You guys don't get power outages?
No.
Even from the heat?
Like we did some, but no, the heat doesn't do that.
Huh.
Yeah.
You guys have a really good grid. If
Yeah, we
everyone's
do.
running their AC and the
We're right
power
next to
doesn't
that
go off-
nuclear power plant.
Oh, you're right. T.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But
The power goes out in Ohio a lot.
really,
Like I would say, like kind of often because of storms.
no, yeah, that literally never happens.
Yeah.
And like when there is thunder, it's not that loud. Like it sounds so distant. Like it's never like.
Oh, see, I've definitely had thunder where like things on the walls are like vibrating.
No.
Like
yeah.
it's.
And
loud.
I've only experienced that when I was like in Long Island in New York.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I've only ever experienced those.
See,
types of
I
thunderstorms over
love that. Like I used to love that growing up.
there. And that was
my
like the
favorite
ones
thing.
where you can't go to sleep because it's so loud.
I love that. I love that.
I prefer not to be.
I
like that once in a while, but not.
I was telling Kylie how my hometown doesn't have a tornado siren. They might now, but growing up we didn't have one. And so, and this was like before everyone had cell phones too, so you wouldn't get like alerts like that. So my family had this little like silver radio thing, and it was called a storm radio. I don't know if they make these anymore. It sounds like ancient fucking technology at this
We should
point.
get one. We should buy one off eBay.
We should.
For fun.
Sick. But it just plugged into the wall, and whenever there was like a storm alert, the thing would flick on, and it would just be the radio. And it was like kind of scary because like at some nights it'd be thunderstorms.
Somebody should
We'd all be
sample
like-
a storm radio.
They should. Wait,
Yeah. Somebody needs to send her a storm radio.
FLP needs to do that because
Yeah.
literally I remember it stayed in my parents' room, so we'd all be like sleeping at night, and then you hear it go like, zzz, and then it'd be like, oh, there's a storm's coming in, and then we'd all be like, time to go downstairs.
Damn it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's too
And
scary. And now we
also-
just have Amber Alerts.
I know, yeah, buzzes on your phone.
This
It's
is my
kind of,
storm
less
radio.
satisfying. It also used to be fun if you were watching TV because then it would go like, zzz, and then like
We
newsreels
are
come on.
too attached to our phones. Y'all, guess how Erin whitened her teeth last night? She had to plug a device into her phone, and the LED light only powered on if it were plugged into her cell phone. Also, I have to do my laundry. I have to use my cell phone in order to do my laundry
So true.
because there's an app that operates the money that I have to pay when I pay the laundry machine.
What else do I need my phone for?
GPS. Anytime I go anywhere, I have to look at my phone.
I hate it actually.
Anytime I do music.
I feel like I can't even leave the house without it.
No, I can't.
I kinda
I don't
wanna
want
start
to leave
doing
my
that.
house. I don't. Well, I'm so attached to it. Where I'm like, this is staying with me.
I need to start setting it down somewhere and like leaving it.
And I feel like also okay. So we watched Twisters on on Tuesday, and I'm attributing the way that my brain works and how I grew up as a screenager. I'm attributing that to how I feel about the movie because I was bored.
Yeah, she was on her phone. It was kind of stressing me out.
Because I was bored.
How were you bored though?
I was bored. It was just really repetitive for me. It was like, okay, another
One too
tornado.
many tornadoes.
And then there was another tornado.
But all the tornadoes were different. I really
They
liked
weren't
that.
to me.
Oh.
Break them down.
They were
all
different.
the same.
Okay, so they were really different to me. In my opinion, okay, so the
Spoiler alert.
yeah, this is a review.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, I got the plot pulled up. First one, they're going into it. They're like, I hope we get an EF1 or an EF2. It ends up being that big bitch.
The one that was chasing them?
Yeah, the one that was chasing them. The one that sucked up all her friends. Crazy, huge. We didn't even really get to see that one. Like, there wasn't very much tornado to look at for that one. So I wasn't like...
Too close, yeah.
Also, that's right at the beginning of the movie. I feel like that was, that was the way to set it up. Because I saw your face when the first friend got sucked up.
I was like...
gagged.
I was not expecting
I
that.
was not expecting anybody to die in the first 10 minutes of that
First
movie.
scene. Her whole friend
Literally,
group.
everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So that tornado was short-lived to me.
And her boyfriend.
Also, you barely got to see the aftermath. You just see her climbing out of it, and then she's in New York.
Mhm.
So I was like, that didn't really count to me. Like, it was kind of interesting for like half a second. The second one is when she goes to Oklahoma with Javi, and they're chasing the twins, right? Is it the twins that they're chasing?
Yeah. What does it say? I think it was...
It's not the twins.
Oh,
yet.
okay.
It was that tiny one that they drove into and they shot the fireworks up.
Yep, okay, got it.
I was like, the twins are the ones after that.
The one that
so there was
Tyler-
the tiny EF1 where she's having the panic attack where they're about to set it up, they almost got it, and then she's like, I'm freaking out, like, never mind, I like don't want to go into the storm, and they shoot the fireworks up it. That one was small. That one wasn't big enough for me to be like excited, which is why my Letterboxd review is edging with tornadoes.
Yeah.
Because the first one was big, didn't get to see it. Second one, EF1, they shot fireworks up it. I'm not scared. The twins, I thought were interesting.
That was cool.
I thought that was cool because I'm like, you don't get to see that very often. I thought it was a good plot device. Pick one or pick the other. Different.
Yeah.
Then the next one, isn't the next one the big one? There's
Is
only
it?
like 4 tornadoes.
There's like 4?
Oh no! Sorry, there's the pool one. That one was big.
Cool.
Where they were hiding in the pool.
Okay.
So there's that one, and I thought that one was really good. I also thought that was really great in the movie that they were like, don't get in your car. Like I learned a lot. Don't get in your car in a tornado because you're gonna get sucked up.
Yeah.
Like also go to a pool. Like go somewhere lower in the ground. Like people should know this stuff. Like I liked that. And that one was really big. That one was really satisfying. That was when they were at the rodeo.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we gotta run. And that was like a big nighttime one. Like I thought that one was like.
I think this is where I was.
Yeah, I saw, yeah. I wish you had, I wish that didn't happen because I feel like that was a really strong tornado. And I really liked it. I really liked that one. And then it's the Big Kahuna. The Big Kahuna was split into 2 though. Because there's the first part of it where they're like, oh shit, this is big, and it hits that oil refinery and it turns into a fire tornado. And then they were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But then it
Oh,
continued and it got bigger.
Yeah.
And that's when it
That
hit
was
the
crazy.
town.
Once I hit the oil thing, I was like, oh, bitch.
That's bad. Oh,
Yeah,
bitch.
this is not
bad.
good.
Not good at all.
This is creating a function.
This is bad. This is really
of
bad.
Things.
Yeah.
Like, God knows what's spinning in the air with that.
Right. Yeah, that one was crazy. And then it turns into the gigantic one that's happening during the day. That's so big that it's like barely spinning, the one that she drives into. So I thought that there was a good variety there. Like you saw there was basically non-existent first big tornado because we didn't see it. EF1 firework one, boring. Twins that are EF2s, cool. Gigantic night tornado, awesome, so sick. Firenado / big daytime tornado. So like 5, 6.
Yeah, it was just like it all felt the same. I also just don't think the action was a bit much for me, in the way that I was just bored when there was action. And then also whenever they talked about science, I was like, oh, this is really boring. And then also there wasn't enough romance. I'm sorry. Like
the romance could have been strong.
There wasn't enough.
Here's the thing.
And I know it's not a romance movie, but
it is. Here's the thing. I think that because I'm very pro Twisters. I think that it's a great, fun movie. I'm not walking away with like profound thoughts.
No.
It's fun. I didn't
even think it was fun though.
I do think it shows like a rom-com novel about storm chasers. Like it's kind of giving book adaptation.
YA.
A little bit. For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Could have been hotter.
Yeah.
Could have been hotter. Could have been.
I'm like, let's crank it
okay,
up.
but it's kind of giving family movie.
It just felt so mild.
It's kind of giving family movie.
I don't know if I'm like oversaturated. I definitely think I am. Like,
yeah.
My shock factor is like it
higher.
Needs to be so high.
Yeah.
Like I needed some crazy thing to happen.
Because to me that was a perfect like fun
nothing crazy
summer American family movie. Like you get all the kids in the minivan and you go and watch that movie and you have a great time. And that's what it felt like to me.
I don't even think kids would like that movie though.
What? Tornadoes? Oh my god. No, I thought it was awesome.
No, the kids will be bored.
Romance, I agree. I feel like they could have cranked it up a little bit. I will say though, I do think like Glenn Powell could have chemistry with like a rock. So I was thoroughly entertained. I loved the like the cowboy-esque-ness of it. That cracked me up. I liked that it was pretty theatrical. Like it was like dramatized for sure. The YouTube channel stuff, normally I hate that shit, but like in the movie I was like, this is a fun movie.
Conceptually, I wish he was real.
Right? Like Tyler
Conceptually, I'm like,
if you feel it, chase it.
I wish I'm pretty sure there is like some sort of storm chaser influencer out there that I don't know about that I'm gonna find later tonight. And I'm gonna watch all his videos because I'm very entertained by that.
He follows me on
Twitter. But like at the end of the day, who?
Reed Timmer.
Who's that?
The main guy from Storm Chasers.
Oh.
He follows me on Twitter because I used to be a stan.
Is he cute?
He's too old.
Oh.
I was in middle school. I was like I was in middle school. I was really so when I was in middle school, I was allowed to download Twitter at age like 13. My parents were like, fine, you can have it, but you can't follow anybody except for like X number of people. And I was allowed to follow the 5 members of One Direction and Josh Hutcherson because the Hunger Games was coming out. And then I also followed Reed Timmer, and I must have been tweeting him incessantly, like, at that time. I don't have any recollection of this, but why else would this PhD-owning man be following me on Twitter? I think I was...
Where'd he go to school?
I don't even know. But he's still a storm chaser. They had this thing called the, they had this truck called the... I can't remember the name. They had a huge truck situation that they would drive into storms and it would like grind into the ground like that. It was like the...
Hey, that's real?
Yeah, it was like the Terminator or the Denominator or the Demon, something like that.
The grinding into the ground thing was crazy.
Yeah, no, they had that. And it also had shields that came down. So they would go into a storm, they'd grind the thing into the ground, and then these shields would come down so that it looked like a rhombus, kind of. And it would just like be parked and they would like go into storms and they'd like, you know, get all their data. But I loved that show and I loved that man. Like I was obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day he still follows me. That's why I posted that picture on my story of me wearing that tornado shirt. It was a Storm Chasers t-shirt.
Oh my god. Do you still have it?
At home probably. I
Good.
do.
That's a relic. That's a
It's
good
a relic.
shirt.
It's a really...
I want a t-shirt with the tornado on it.
This is like really my kind of movie.
Yeah.
Like I know that I have my other kinds of movies which are like a little bit more like I want to die. But this one's more like a fun.
This one was... I like tornadoes, and I do think it was, like, fun to an extent. Caught me on a wrong day, I think. Tuesday night is, like, kind of random.
I was thinking you'd enjoy it more.
I think I'd enjoy it more if it was like Friday night.
Okay. I still think you would have had the most fun if you had seen it in 4DX the day that I saw it in 4DX.
Probably.
Because, okay, so I saw it in 4DX. I'm going to see it again. You should come with me. It was, I think I've already even talked about this. It was just like the crowd was right. Like yesterday, I would say the crowd wasn't as like energetic. I also feel like my movie theater experience does kind of like, the crowd
the
matters
community
to me.
is important.
And I would say because I saw it in 4DX last week, right when it came out, the crowd was like new to seeing it too. Like probably no one in that theater had seen it yet. And it was 4DX, so it added a layer. So like, you know how in the movie, Javi and Tyler are both like kind of in love with Kate, and she's kind of ignoring Javi like the whole time. Every single time Javi did anything, the crowd was laughing, like heckling him. Like when she's like coming out of the truck at the end in that last storm and she's like dying and they're both running towards her in slow motion, everyone was like, every time the seats went like this, everyone was like, woo! Like,
yeah.
Everyone was screaming, everyone was shrieking. After the first big tornado, everyone was like, woo! And it was like that kind of vibe.
Okay, so like chair motion wise, at what point was it like really intense?
So every single time the cars were driving, it felt like you were driving on like fields.
Okay.
So that was like really well done, really accurate. That scene where Kate's in the car and she like has the panic attack and Javi's pissed at her, she like hits the car door and all of our seats were like, and I was like, oh, they programmed that shit in too. Obviously, like when the big tornadoes were happening, there was a lot of like vibrating, shaking.
Mm-hmm.
There was wind. The mist was fun because like whenever there was like the rain started, it would just like mist your face like really quickly.
Where's the mist coming from?
I don't actually have any fucking clue where the mist was coming from.
Because there wasn't anything in front that was like spraying.
Not that it looked, it didn't seem like it. The whole thing also, like while you're in 4DX, is you're fucking disoriented beyond belief. I like sit down and it looks like a regular movie theater chair, except for the fact that it says water on and water off, and I'm like, water on.
Water like I'm thirsty? On.
I said water on. Also, they did lightning on the sides. So, like, when there was tornadoes, there would be lightning flashing. I think the lightning should have been 10 times the amount. I think the seats were an appropriate amount of thrashing for the average person. I would say you could turn it up 5 times for me, and I would have more fun.
Was there any point in the movie that you thought you needed a seatbelt?
Yes. Many times.
Oh.
Whole time I was kind of like...
Did you get lifted up?
There were a few times where I was like... being like rocked.
Did anybody fall out of their seat?
No, I think if you were standing, you would have been thrown out of your seat though.
If you were standing.
If you were like trying to get out of your seat to like go to the bathroom while that happened, you would have been thrashed for sure.
Like, can your feet touch the ground? Like,
there's a step.
Okay.
So there's like, you know, when you step into a truck, there's like one of those like ledges that your feet are on.
Got it.
And then there's huge cup holders, and there were parts where I was being thrashed to the point where I was like putting my hands in the cup holders because I was like, I'm being thrashed. Like I feel like I need to.
How tall is the chair? Like if you fell, would it have been dangerous?
No, it's like 6 inches off the ground. It's like regular movie theater vibe, except the whole thing. Honestly, I just like never really done 4DX. I've never done 4DX before besides that like an amusement park where they like do strap you in.
The Harry Potter Universal ride.
Right.
Love.
Right, exactly. Like that kind of, like that I've been familiar with.
By the way, we should go.
We should go. We should go. However, I would say I've never been in a theater where I went in and it felt like a movie theater seat. That suddenly started moving. Also, the way that the movie was, it was like during the middle of the previews, there was a 4DX, like, welcome to 4DX situation. And I didn't know that they were going to do that. I just thought the 4DX would start during the movie. But it was like kind of like a forewarning almost. And when that thing happened, I was like, this is about to be a situation. All yarn.
All yarn.
All yarn. And it was like, literally, like, it was like, welcome to 4DX. And then it like dropped you in like, it looked like the screen dropped you in water and then you got misted and then it was like.
So how much was that?
$25.
What? That's pretty good.
That's really good.
It's getting expensive. Like it's getting $50.
Right? Like the experience of it all. It was the most fun. And I was there alone. I mean, I saw Emily there, but I went by myself. Even if I were by myself, I was having a hoot and a holler. I was laughing hard. Like, I was genuinely laughing because I couldn't. It was such an overwhelming experience that I was like, I don't know what to do right now but laugh. Because this is like...
It's bonkers.
It's like insane. It's bonkers.
Conceptually, that's crazy.
Conceptually insane. I was literally like, there's no way I'm sitting at the movies right now being thrown out of my seat. Also, when the twin tornadoes were happening, they had the fog machines in the front go at the same time, and it looked like there were two twin tornadoes at the front. Yeah,
there's a fog machine.
Right, so whenever there was a tornado, the fog machine
was stinky?
No.
Okay.
No. I was in the middle of the theater, though. Like, if you were in the front, like, maybe. But I kind of wish that I was in the front.
Would you ever go snake catching?
Snake catching?
Yeah.
No, I'm not really into
snakes. Have you ever
snakes.
had a snake before?
I have.
What kind?
A python. I went to Invention.
What? That's huge!
I was at Invention Convention in 5th grade.
Was it huge? Because it sounds big.
It's crazy that you're not going to ask me about Invention Convention.
What the fuck is Invention Convention?
So, I invented this thing. I didn't put a patent on it, so if you want to steal this idea, I suppose you can. In 5th grade, I invented a...
No, don't say that. You should steal it back.
I'm not going to do this.
Okay, fine.
I invented a magnetic pocket, so if your t-shirt didn't have a pocket on it already, I made a pocket that you could attach to any piece of clothing that you already had, so that you could have a pocket.
You're an entrepreneurial.
I know, thank you. Anyways, because I made this pocket, I made it past regionals, and I went to state invention convention. And at state invention convention, it was in downtown Columbus, and it was at the convention center, I think. Don't really remember because I was in 5th grade. And they had a snake man there. And the snake man there had his big python. And he was like, come over here. I want to show you something. And I was like, no, sir. No, thank you. And he was like, come over here. And I was like, no, sir. I'm not interested in that snake. And then he held it by the tail and held it by the head. And he swung it around my neck and pulled me towards him with the snake.
That's not very consensual.
That's not. It's not. Pulled me toward him with the snake. And then he was like, well, now the snake's around your neck. And I was like,
well, fuck you, sir.
And then there's a picture of me, but I can't find this picture. I've been wondering where this picture is for, like, pretty much my whole life. Never seen it. I know that a photo was taken. I know.
A giant python.
I mean, I was in 5th grade, so maybe it's bigger.
It was like Britney Spears.
Yeah, it was exactly like that.
Oh my god.
Except I wasn't singing and I wasn't a pop star.
No, and you didn't want that.
And I didn't want it. But actually, after it happened, I was kind of...
I had an iguana. Actually, no, I had a lizard. It wasn't an iguana. I held a lizard, and then I held a baby snake a couple years ago when I was in Arizona. I was like walking through, and there was this man who was trying to sell a snake, and I was like, you know what, I've never... And he was like trying to get everybody to hold a snake, and I was like, you know what, I actually never held a snake before, and I feel like I think Jesus is calling me. He's telling me that I need to hold the snake because I've never done it before and I need to step out of my comfort zone. And so I walk up to this man and I'm like, sir, can I hold that snake? And he's like, sure, darling. And he hands me the snake and I'm holding this snake and I'm telling Drea, she's with me and she's there. She's just like, I'm telling Drea, I'm like, Drea, get these pictures of me holding the snake. I don't know when the next time I'm going to be holding the snake. And so that's the only time I've ever held the snake.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Snakes, I've heard, they can be really gentle creatures.
I just don't like how quickly they move.
I
think that they can
I don't like the way that
they can snap at you. I don't want my face to get big.
And they're not soft. Because, like, cats move fast, and that scares me, too. But they're soft, at least.
The iguana, not the iguana, the lizard was kind of moving fast, too.
Yeah, I don't really like anything that scurries.
I think frogs are really cute.
I don't like things that scurry.
I don't
like things that jump.
on my hand. Because I have warts elsewhere.
Or genitals.
That's incorrect. But fake news. Fake news.
Yeah, so of the country things, I guess, some of them. I guess.
Have you ever seen a snake out in public?
Yes.
Like on the ground?
Hiking, yeah. In Ohio. There's no poisonous snakes in Ohio, and if there are, I think there's only like 3 different ones.
We have
but I don't think
rattlesnakes.
there are. I know you've got scary ones.
Yeah.
Ohio, they're usually just like garden snakes or like forest snakes, but I did almost step on one hiking once. And that did scare me.
Oh.
Even if they're not poisonous, I don't like the way that they slither.
Yeah, it's not really safe to walk barefoot at night.
No.
Because we also got scorpions.
Yeah, I don't like the way your animals
Yeah, they're kind of aggressive, not gonna lie. It's the scorpions, it's the rattlesnakes. I would say those are the main 2.
I think in Ohio, the only things that are like mountain lions. Do we even have those? I don't even know if we have those. Bobcats.
Bobcats. Okay. I think we have mountain lions too.
Do we have those? We definitely have
Coyotes.
wild cats of some sort. Coyotes, yeah. I guess, like, we had friends' dogs who got attacked by coyotes, but, like, never people.
Yeah, we have mountain lions for sure.
Like,
out in Phoenix. Hogs. We have hogs.
Absolutely
that
not.
will chase people.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. No.
I just remembered. I have never seen one personally, but like I've heard of people being chased by hogs.
No.
But that's more like out in Scottsdale, like near the mountains out there. Yeah. So, but like on the Twister front, I really do feel like I would appreciate it more if my like attention span was a little bit longer.
I can understand what you're saying, because I do think if you're not a regular, and I'm gonna tell people, you're not like a movie.
I'm not a
like,
movie
you should
watcher.
Clarify that.
I'm not. Yeah, let me clarify. I'm not a movie watcher, and I'm not a TV watcher unless there's something like really pulling me in. So I'm very, very, very picky with film. And then
very
also
short attention span.
Very short attention span. I just don't find the value in it most days. And then, yeah, I just can't. I can't be called to the message. I'm like, I could be doing 1,000 other things.
I feel like when I noticed you on your phone, there were parts that I was like, she's kind of missing a little bit.
Yeah. Because I didn't really.
But I'm somebody who
My
does
brain
think that
shuts
every
off.
part like matters, you know.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you're saying like you wish there was more romance, and I like agree. Like I do think that like we were edged, but we weren't satisfied.
Yeah. We weren't really. We didn't get the.
But
full
there were moments where I was like, they have chemistry. Like they have chemistry. Like when he. Just kind of like the way he's interacting with her in general, and like you knew he like liked her from the beginning, which I was like cute. When she's like looking up at that one tornado and she's like, she's gorgeous. Why did she say kind of Irish?
She did.
She said she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And he was like, it is, but he's looking at her.
Yeah. That part. Honestly, that part I was like, are you serious? Oh, and then when he like used his truck to anchor it in at the airport, I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, no, that's like really definitely. I'm sure he got in a lot of trouble for that. I was like,
I mean,
oh,
it's
God.
fiction, but I was just like, are you serious?
But like that's why I kind of like it's a fun American movie.
Yeah, that
it's
was
a fun
like,
American
really,
movie.
Yeah.
There's another thing.
It was a nice touch.
Oh, like how she like really is like kind of like they're kind of enemies to lovers a little bit. Like she's kind of not
Yeah,
rocking
she's
with
annoyed
him.
with him.
She's annoyed with him. He
He's
doesn't
got
get
an
her.
ego.
Yeah,
He sells his face on shirts.
right, and he's annoying. And she like didn't really know what he was all about. But when they like had that trauma bonding experience,
They had the one-on-one.
and they were in that pool together, and he was like they were both holding on for dear life, and she like touches his hand right after it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, because, well, I just love that. Also, I think that the reason why I think this is the kind of movie for me is because it perfectly blurs what I need, right? Like, I think romance is stronger when there's a trauma bonding experience, but because fantasy isn't real, this is pretty close. Like, this is pretty close. This is as close as you can get to life or death trauma bonding experience that's actually based in reality. Most of the time, the life or death trauma bonding experience is like fantasy, science fiction, or like post-apocalyptic. This is present day. Like, this is enemies to lovers. They had a trauma bonding experience, and now they... Also, at the airport, when she's like, well, maybe if you feel it, you should chase it. I was like...
Right, somebody get that on a shirt.
So
Sell
cute.
it to me.
So cute. The other
But yeah, I
note-
love the actors. Like, I love the actors. I think the concept is really sick. Like, a movie about tornadoes, that is sick. That's rocking, dude. You know? But yeah. That's pretty much about it. Like, I have really nothing else to say because I was just kind of bored.
I will say, if you had seen the 96 version of Twisters, this is very, very in line with that. And I think for people who liked the 96 version of Twisters, who maybe grew up with the 96 version of Twister, sorry, it's not S, Twister. If you liked Twister 1996, I think that this is like a perfect, like, it's not really a sequel because it's like none of the same characters.
What's happening in Twister?
It's pretty much the exact same movie.
Really?
It's
There's a tornado influencer?
No, well, it's not the same, but it's
Oh.
like same for the time period.
Oh.
It's the 1990s. It's this girl and this guy who are actually getting a divorce, and it's like a comedy kind of. Philip Seymour Hoffman's in it.
Oh my God.
It's got like
Dang.
an ensemble cast.
Yeah.
Helen Hunt. It's got an ensemble cast. But this girl who loves chasing tornadoes is getting divorced from this man who also used to chase tornadoes with her. And he like comes to get her to sign the divorce papers, but then they like kind of go on a little bit of an excursion with their whole squad to like chase tornadoes. And it's similar where she's like trying to like help her her family because like they live in a place where there's a lot of tornadoes. Dorothy the like science part of it is the same. They're trying to collect data.
Yep.
It's pretty much the exact same concept, but based in the 90s. And it was like, I feel like if you liked that, this is like perfect because it's not a sequel necessarily because they're not tied, and it's not a remake because it's not the same movie, but it's like
An ode.
this exactly.
Yeah.
An homage.
Yep.
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
That's nice.
We should see it in 4DX.
Well, I'm down. My heart is opening up to it.
I'm really
I'm down. I think it, you know what, and I don't think I like fully was able to absorb the movie on first watch. And I think like watching it a second time would help, especially if I'm being shooken in my chair.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get bored.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to. But at the same time, I'm like, dang, I do want to relax while watching something.
I
get like it's an enhanced experience if I because I probably needed that push in order to be like, hey, this happened, you know.
Yeah.
So.
I know that you're not a movie person, so it does make it a little bit more of a challenge. And I know that I maybe like I'm not a film bro by any means, but I love the movie theater experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really thoroughly enjoy that, and I feel like for me personally, this was great. My only note was on yesterday's viewing was that the crowd was a little boring.
What is the best theater watching experience you've ever had?
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Really? That was recent.
So much fun. I honestly, that or like early midnight premieres, like the Hunger Games midnight premiere was pretty life-changing.
I would say probably the Hunger Games.
I would say I would say that. Also, I watched like Harry Potter End in theaters, like the Deathly Hallows. Like that was pretty moving. Oh, I watched Breaking Dawn Part 2 in theaters, and let me tell when that Carlisle,
when they got his head,
I was literally in the theater.
When they got Carlisle's head, bro.
So like that's my dad. No, yeah, like I would say those, but in like that I can really, really remember the experience. I would probably say No Way Home for the crowd aspect. Like in terms of the people, the audience inside my specific theater.
I was shocked.
Because I went opening night and I went with my brother, and I'm like not a huge Spider-Man, or I wasn't a big Spider-Man fan at the time. Like I wasn't really like locked in like that. I'd seen them but like not really paid attention. But Derek is a stan, and like everybody in that crowd was a stan.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking people standing up out of their seats. I'm talking people like going like, what? And it was like 9 a.m. night up, you know? And I love that shit.
Really scared.
Literally, like
I think I would be laughing so
when the thing opened up and Andrew Garfield walked out of it, people were like, oh my god! Oh my god! I was literally sitting there like it was shocking.
No, that's
and it was awesome. It was
I would
so
say that's
fun.
beautiful, but I'd be freaked out.
It was so fun. It was crazy.
No, but I was shocked in the theater too.
Yeah,
but I don't remember. Like people weren't standing out of their seats. Like I don't think
people were.
I wasn't with stands or anything.
Were you there opening night, or did you go like a couple days later?
I think it was a couple days later. Yeah, that's probably why.
I went before. Like spoilers hadn't happened yet.
Yeah,
like, nobody knew.
I didn't know either though. Yeah.
Like I mean, I didn't know, but also
no.
I was in the crowd with the like Marvel. Like, the people who wanted to be there opening night, and the fact that they didn't know.
They kept that such a good secret. Also, I feel like everybody online was really good at keeping it low key.
I feel like that was, like, locked for a little bit. Just for, like, the thrill of it all.
Yeah.
If you will.
The way that... No, that's...
Amazing.
I will say that's really good.
That one was really good.
Then,
like you said, Hunger Games was, I mean, this was a different time. I do think, like, Spider-Man people did dress up, but I think, like, I was in middle school. when Hunger Games happened, when Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows happened, when Divergent happened, like those movies that had really strong costuming, because I dressed up for those premieres. Like, I would go wait in line before my movie started.
Probably the One Direction This Is Us for me.
That too, I dressed up.
Yeah.
Also, when Modest Management came on screen, everyone in my theater went, boo! And I was like,
I would say, yeah, because that one's the one where I was probably like most involved in the community. And I feel like if you're more involved in the community, like the more enhanced and fun the experience is. So I feel like I was probably most involved with the One Direction This Is Us. I will say the Hunger Games, when the first movie came out, that one was like a pretty close second.
Catching Fire came out on my birthday.
It was like
so
the midnight showings on Thursday night.
I have pictures.
Those were fun.
And
I stayed awake the whole time.
Like getting my parents to drop me off at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Why did I get there 2 hours early? But you would just, because our theater you couldn't pick your seats ahead of time. So
and
actually,
it felt special too.
Your space in line mattered.
Yeah. Like it did feel like some elite special thing when you were watching it the day before, because you're just like
Thursday night, and then
I'm one of few people that are watching this right now. Yeah, like it felt like a cool pass.
I had the side braid in, I had the Mockingjay pin, I had my pants on. Also, we took up the entire row of the theater. It was awesome. Deathly Hallows, I wore a Triwizard Tournament uniform. That was sick.
Wow.
The Fault in Our Stars, I made my own t-shirt, wore that, did a side braid for that too. What was the other one you just said? Oh, This Is Us.
Yeah,
I wore my Take Me Home tour t-shirt. Like, I was locked into the movie theater experience. Actually, Star Wars 7 was also really great in theaters. I saw that in my hometown theater.
Yeah.
And that was really fun too, because I just really like the cultural moments. Like when it's like an old movie that's being rebooted, I think that's a great experience. When it's a long series that's having like another film, like I think that's where
I'm still waking up every single day wanting to know what the next big like not theatrical, but like big franchise is. Like what big budget 8 movie franchise is gonna come out of the woodworks.
You know what I think the problem is though? Is that bitches aren't reading. I really do think it makes a difference, and I really think it makes a difference with the youth specifically.
But are people writing?
That's a great question. That's a great point that you make.
Yeah.
I just feel like
writers aren't being paid. That's why people aren't writing.
That's true. I'm just thinking like Barbie was a big cultural moment in theaters, right?
That was fun.
That was really fun. Really fun. I also like loved seeing that. Dune has been really fun to see in theaters too. Like one, not so much, but 2, really fun. However, I think it's when people are really attached to the source material ahead of the film that makes a big difference. Like The Hunger Games was like anticipated. Like people, like I was making Hunger Games movies in my backyard before the Hunger Games movie existed. I was like locked in. So I
remember the book being a big announcement. Deal. Yeah. Like when the book was launched.
Dude, like everybody reading Catching Fire at the same time. Like that's awesome. And same with like Harry Potter. Like by the time that the like newer movies came out, like actually 10 years had, like longer had passed. Like so much time had passed, and people who have like been really attached to it like have. Same with like the new Spider-Mans. Like it's like people watch that in the early 2000s, so of course there's like this emotional...
I mean I guess Dune, but like I just feel like the first movie with Dune, there also not many people have even, not that I know of at least, I'm not surrounded by a community of people that have read the Dune books.
The source materials.
I
heard it's really difficult.
Old. Yeah, and also like the first movie was just, it was just a setup. It was just like ASMR for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Second movie, amazing. Great work, but I wish the first movie set it up in a way where like I was excited for the second movie. Like but like I didn't even know the second movie was gonna be so good because the first movie was a dud. Yeah. Literally like ASMR microphone and like Hans Zimmer track throughout the whole time.
Loud as hell.
Which he killed it, but like my ears
beautiful,
stunning,
gorgeous movie.
I love but the script. Where was it? Where were the relationships between the families?
The plot
where was the relationship between the friends? The plot was slow. Like we didn't even get to see fully like.
I wasn't attached to anybody.
No, I wasn't attached to
Oscar.
When Oscar Isaac died, I was like, I never even got to know him.
I'm just sad that Oscar Isaac's off my screen.
I never even got to love him as a father. Like, I didn't get to love him like
Yeah.
that. I didn't ever see him be a father to Paul in that way.
Ain't
And
nothing
then,
like losing Sirius Black.
ain't nothing like losing Sirius Black. That's my dad.
That's fun, that.
That's my dad.
Nothing will hurt like that.
Like, and the relationships in Harry Potter are so rich and so full and so raw. And I don't know if we can
Replicate
crank
that.
it up a notch and replicate that.
See, here's the thing. This, because I have thought on this, because Percy Jackson just had a reboot, right?
Mhm.
I think that the Percy Jackson reboot could have had the essence of a Harry Potter, of a Divergent. The only reason why it's not taking off in the way that it should be is because people who are attached to the source material are 25 years old and can no longer relate to a 13-year-old on screen.
No.
Like, I'm having fun watching Percy Jackson for nostalgia's sake, but they're not getting other, like, I feel like they're not locking down the 13 to 15 population
No.
who should be obsessed with that cast right now because they're their age. I actually did see some TikToks, like, people being like, oh my god, finally an age-appropriate, like, celebrity crush, and I was, like, really excited about that.
Yeah.
I just feel like Percy Jackson, the books came out so long ago that, like, the phenomenon of, like, being attached to the books and watching it come to life on screen is a little, like, it's just disconnected. But otherwise I would have said that. It just feels like it's late. Like, it's late,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
It's late. So.
And I don't think that, like, 14, 15-year-olds who are watching the show right now have read it or are interested in reading it. Because from what I hear from the people that I know that are that age is that nobody's reading anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I've talked to my 13-year-old
Sure.
contacts, my 15-year-old contacts. Nobody's reading anymore.
Yeah,
I'm like talking about my
yeah, I
cousins.
don't really know. Yeah, I don't hear about it. Although the Barnes and Nobles almost went out of business,
That's
but then it
because-
came back.
That's because of people our age, though. It's not, when you walk into a Barnes and Noble, you see anybody between the ages of 10 and 16 in there
I do actually. The YA section is popping.
with
But
young kids.
young kids, yeah.
I'm not
At mine,
seeing
at
that.
least.
In
In
Arizona.
Arizona, yeah.
Huh. Maybe people are reading
Like
it.
especially during like the 50% off day, like there were families there.
I do think Heartstopper
Oh yeah,
is doing really well
Mhm.
for that age group.
That's true.
I don't know. I just feel like there was more of a phenomenon of, like, everyone reading the
I
same
guess the
book
summer I
every
turned
time.
pretty had like a little book moment, like book revival moment
Yeah.
because of the show.
But also the people watching that show, I feel like, are our age.
Oh.
You ever seen teens watch that?
Yeah,
Really?
Kids are watching that show. Yeah, my niece loved that show.
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Well, that makes me feel better.
yeah.
I read that book when it came out. Like, so,
Yeah.
like, I was
I also
11,
just think
12,
like
which
the,
is why I'm watching
yeah, no,
it. You
I mean,
know?
but also it's just a great fun show. Like,
yeah.
it's just
Teens.
cute and pure, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the kids do love that show. The
Okay,
girls, at
that
least.
makes me feel better.
Yeah,
I just like, are people are teens picking up that book, having watched the show, or are they just watching the show?
they're probably just watching.
I just feel like people aren't reading.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if what is it, SSR? I don't know if SSR is happening anymore.
I don't think it's happening.
And I think that that's really a disservice to our nation
I think that's true.
and our education
I think so
system.
too. I think so too.
Because I do think
I think YouTube and
imagination
TikTok
really
are harming
matters.
children. at the end of every episode, we end
We're
up
like,
talking
"Here's
about
what's wrong with the government."
we end up talking about what's wrong with society and what's wrong with children.
I just feel like, and like, you know, maybe it's just because we're like 25 years
Yeah,
old.
I know, I
Like,
sound
our
like an
youth
old
is, like,
fart.
dead.
Yeah, I like.
But I'm like,
the wrinkles in my forehead are talking.
I just feel like I had so much fun. And I feel like the kids these days aren't having as much fun as I had. I actually don't, though. Like, I don't even feel like they're talking about having
They're
fun
not.
like I had.
No, they're kind of
Like,
miserable.
I had fun. Like, I was climbing trees. I was making Hunger Games
I want to
movies.
climb a tree tomorrow.
I was reading books at the same time as my friends. I was imagining things. I was starting a band. I was, like, doing all of this like, I was doing stuff that, like, kids do. I feel like now that everything's just, like, here,
Yeah, it's not
they
fun.
just, like, scroll TikTok and then they're like, should I go to Aritzia and buy a t-shirt?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
and like Sephora.
you guys literally have no imagination.
Yeah, and
You've,
then
like, been sucked
Little
up by
boys
capitalism.
are playing video games too. But I see how playing video games is cultivating somewhat of a community between little boys, but also like I wish y'all were playing video games together in real life.
I wish you guys were like shooting bow and arrows in the backyard.
That too.
Like
Playing soccer.
building shit.
Yeah.
Let's get back to building.
Start a fire.
That's why we have
Learn
no.
how to start a fire.
That's why we have no.
Learn how to build a
infrastructure today.
tent.
We have no infrastructure today because nobody wants to build anymore.
This is why LA looks like this. This is why the streets of LA
are
make
there
no
still,
sense.
Are there still Boy Scouts? Are there still Girl Scouts? Like, what's going on?
Where are our engineers?
Where
are our doctors? Where are our
$6 a box
lawyers?
these days?
Where are men who work? Where are the men that want to get up and work?
There's a reason why we all feel this despair, and it's because we took the imagination out of life.
You know what? I will love a man that wants to work.
I would love a man with an imagination and a sense of humor.
That too.
Let's get creative.
And on today's episode, and on today's debate, we both won. Thank you.
Vote for
Please
us.
vote for us. The election. Your future is in our hands.
I really do think that if your future was in my hands, though, I would make it better. I actually believe that. I know that
That's
sounds
so
scary,
authentic.
but I really do think that I could make this world a better place if I just had the
That's
resources.
so authentic of you.
Don't you think if we had the resources?
What have
we'd
you
make
been
it
up to
better?
this week? What have you been liking this week?
Twisters and 4DX. I have been liking John Mayer. I've been listening to John Mayer. I've been listening to Peter McPoland.
Oh wow.
I'm on a man kick right now. I've been liking men this week.
Wow. We need to get you a shirt that says "I heart
I
men."
love men. I've been noticing men look better outside. I think I'm just kind of locking in a little bit because I'm like, hey, maybe at 25 I need to start paying attention to that, or I'm
Yeah.
gonna end up on these streets alone. So yeah, I'm kind of supporting men right now.
Yeah.
Tornado wrangling, I think that's hot. I don't know. I'm kind of loving masculinity right now.
I've been really into couches lately. Like I've been really into like looking at couches
Yeah.
and seeing what's out there on the market because like I'm on the market for a new couch.
Yeah.
If anybody knows of anything, hook me up, please. And then I've also been really into like eating sugar and like that's kind of dangerous though.
Been really into the sugar.
Oh, I've also been into, let's see.
I've been really into tanning.
Soul Cycle is really fun.
I've been really into hiking.
Tanning is awesome. I got some new tan lines. I'm tri-toned now. Hiking, great.
I've been really into hiking. I've been really into my walks. I actually feel like I'm in a place right now.
Caesar salads. I'm on a Caesar salad
That's
kick.
been great. That's been great. How about
And
that?
we're up on our high protein life. 38 G's of protein a day.
And I'm loving the book I'm reading right now. It's a summer book. It's called This Summer Will Be Different. I'm about the third through and I'm having a good time.
What's the author?
Carly Fortune. She wrote Every Summer After, which I really loved. She had a little bit of a sophomore slump in my opinion.
Oh,
but
that's
this
okay.
feels this third one feels
It's okay,
good.
we can't win every time.
We can't. And I've been
It's fine.
feeling inspired actually.
You know
I've been feeling a little stressed out in some areas of my life, but I've been feeling inspired in others.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I'm trying to like be on my screen for the right reasons and be off my screen
Yeah, for the wrong.
for other times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's awesome.
Thank you.
And with that, I say, have a great day. Have an awesome life. Have a great weekend, America. And I'll
make sure
see you
you're
next
registered
week.
to vote, please.
What's this? Oh,
If you feel
let me
it.
do that better. If you feel it, chase it. Believe it, be it.